Hello, welcome to the Eagle's Wing podcast. This is your host, Deuce Brandt. Today I want to talk to you about the area of finances and the financial major area of our life. So a big part of Eagle's Wing Academy and what we're doing here is, yes, we want to get you working. We want to teach you a skill and how to work and how to achieve and how to keep the job and excel and grow and get promoted. Yes, all those things are very, very important. But ultimately, what we get from working, we get finances. And once we have finances, how we spend and allocate those finances depends on, how quickly we can achieve our goals, and even if we do achieve our goals. Because here's the thing. With no plan, you can't really expect to achieve great things. It's kind of like if a tornado went through a junkyard, it's not going to assemble, a Cadillac car that's perfectly running and tuned. It would be foolishness to think that by some chance, a perfect result is going to happen. So with that, we have to diligently seek out wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We need to have skillful and godly wisdom in our finances. And so with one of those, what I promote and what I think is an amazing teaching and ability to kind of build a plan and to get on the financial track for true success is Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, the financial coaching model that Dave teaches, and to really decide what it is that you want, and then to continue to grow and to grow from it. So one of the things, what is financial peace? What is this idea of the Financial Peace University? If we go to financialpeace.com and we take a look at the Financial Peace University from Dave Ramsey, we're going to notice that there is a way to pay off debt faster and to live the life we really want. And so I'm going to just go to financialpeace.com, click on the Financial Peace University tab. And so basically with Financial Peace University, there are 9 lessons, and this is generally we do 1 week for 9 weeks. And the lessons are, lesson 1 is baby step 1 and budgeting. Now, baby step 1 is creating a budget for your life, for your money, figuring out what all of your expenses are, all the things that you have to spend money on. These are, car payment, rent, electricity, internet, phone, clothing, food, everything, all of the ways that you're spending money, and you subtract that from all of your income that is coming in, and hopefully you have some left over to build your plan. Sometimes there is a negative. So we have, let's say we have $10 coming in, but we spend $12. If that's the case, we have a negative. And so at that point, you either have to reduce your expenses or you have to create more income. And so the first baby step, other than budgeting and figuring out our expenses and our income, is saving $1,000 for an emergency fund. So this is your baby emergency fund. $1,000 is not going to be sufficient for all emergencies in life. However, it will help you from going into debt if you have a flat tire, your alternator breaks on your car, you get sick and you need to go to the emergency room, the washing machine breaks in your house, you have some kind of minor emergency. Well, instead of going into debt and putting it on a credit card, you now have cash, this $1,000 emergency fund. Now, the cool thing about the emergency fund is it gives you a little bit of peace, and it should help you to be brave into going into the next baby step and to move forward. And so what I recommend that you do with your $1,000 emergency fund is that you put it inside of a money market account or an online high yield savings account. I have my emergency fund in a high yield savings account, and it fluctuates somewhere around 5% every month, which is, much higher return than I would have gotten from if I just put it in my checking account, in my savings account for the bank, which is, 0.1% savings. The Wells Fargo does very, very little in interest. So a high yield savings account is going to give you more of a return. Now, the emergency fund, it's not a build wealth fund, but if you can increase and gain interest, it'll slowly build and it'll bring you closer to your major emergency fund, which is going to come later in baby step 3. But the idea of putting your money in a separate account, that will help you from spending it on something that is not an emergency. Now, one of the things that it talks about in the lesson for lesson 1, that an emergency fund is not for emergency fun. And I love that, because here's the thing is if you leave your emergency fund with the rest of your money in your checking account connected to your debit card, you're going to end up spending it. A lot of times, something happens, you see something and you buy it. You go, oh, I got to buy that pair of shoes. Ooh, I've got $1,000 in the bank. I can buy that TV. I can buy that thing. And we can often overspend because we see that money. And so by putting it into a separate account that requires additional steps to be able to take it out, generally you initiate a transfer and it takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to get into your checking or savings account. This will help you decide if something truly is an emergency or if it is just, I want to have fun and I want to spend this unwisely. So that's baby step 1. Lesson 2 is baby step number 2. And baby step number 2 is getting rid of all of your debt, paying off all of your debts, everything except the house, using the debt snowball. Now, the debt snowball basically is where you list out all of your debts, you run your credit, you write out every single debt, every dollar that you owe to everybody. This is, to credit cards, to a car loan, to you owe your friends or your family money, you have student loan, you have any debt that is owed. You write it all down according to the amount of each debt and then what the minimum payment is for each debt per month. So let's say you have, a car loan, you have a student loan, you have 3 credit cards, and you have, you borrowed $50 from a friend. Now, what you would do is you would write out all of those debts, and then you would rank them according to how much each one is, what the minimum payments are for each. You would plug those minimum payments into your budget. Now, I recommend that you do the Every Dollar app, which there is a free version. And those that are my coaching clients, I'll make sure that we get you a premium version or show you how you can access that premium version. But the idea is you put in your minimum payments for everything in your budget. Then you find out if there's any money left over at the end of the month. Any money that, you can work overtime, you can take on a second job, you can do a side hustle, you can sell something. The idea is to become intense and to do something amazing to get out of the challenge of debt, because we can wander into debt. We can wander into a trap and into a hole, but it takes skillful and godly wisdom, and it takes attention to get out of the challenge. And so what I want to encourage you in this baby step 2, Dave talks about it's becoming gazelle intense. When the gazelle, it's kind of like a deer in the African safari. And, the deer, the gazelle is just walking around, eating grass, living life. And then suddenly the cheetah comes, and the cheetah is going to eat the gazelle. And the cheetah is the fastest land animal, and it chases the gazelle. The gazelle has only, it only has one option, is to run and to run and whatever it can to get away from being eaten and devoured by the cheetah. This is like us with debt. It is so easy for debt to crouch up and to chase us down and to entice us into something that we want. But to get out of debt, we have to be intense, gazelle intense, just like that gazelle running from the cheetah. Everything that we can do to get out of debt as quickly as possible with the debt snowball. So we take any extra money after paying for everything, we take everything extra and we put it towards our smallest debt until that debt is paid off. Then we take what would have been the minimum payment for that debt and any extra money that we can put towards the next lowest debt, and you keep paying off your debts until the debt snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're paying off your larger debts as quickly as possible. Now, this is a wonderful thing. Once you have no payments, you owe nothing to anybody, you're going to have that income that you can use towards other things as we get into these other baby steps. Step 3, lesson 3, baby step number 3. Baby step number 3 is 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Now, the lesson is going to go into details on what's the best. If you should have a 3-month emergency fund, you should have 6 months. The point is, you should have money in your bank account that if something major was to happen to you, that you would be able to survive, you and your family, for 3 to 6 months. And so this is you can take your foot off the gas a little bit in the gazelle intensity and building your emergency fund. But basically you can take extra money that you have and you can start putting it away towards this fully funded emergency fund. Then in lesson 4 goes into baby steps 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so baby steps 4, 5, and 6 are, well, let me take a quick step back to 3. Once you have a fully funded emergency fund, if you are going to buy a house, step 3B, as in boy, 3B is saving up a down payment for your home for a house. And so this is where you would be on that step to save a 20% down payment on a home that is a 15-year fixed mortgage. And so we're going to go into that in a later lesson on buying home. But baby step 4, 5, and 6, these are all done at the same time. So once you completed baby step 3, and maybe you're saving up for an emergency for your home, you can be doing steps 4, 5, and 6. And those are baby step number 4 is saving 15% of your income for your retirement in mutual funds, in a 401k, in a Roth IRA, and it goes into all the different options for retirement. You need to save for retirement because it is coming. You absolutely have to. Baby step number 5 is to pay off or to start funding for your child's college fund. So you're going to be saving for a college fund for your child. And baby step number 6 is paying off your home early. So the idea of once you have no payments and after retirement, to basically go aggressive on paying off your home as quickly as possible. This is the fastest way to build wealth and to become a baby step millionaire. And then once you're done with baby step 6, your children have gone to college, you've paid for that, you've been putting 15% of your income towards retirement. You walk into baby step number 7, and baby step number 7 is basically you've lived like no one else. Now you can live and give like no one else. And this is really like the great place to be. This is kind of the goal, is to get to a point where you are a baby steps millionaire. You've accumulated great wealth. You own your home. You are probably in the prime working years of your life. Your relationships will be great. You will have ability to really help and to benefit and bless others. This lesson talks about that for baby step number 7. Now, getting into lesson number 5, it's on wise spending. And so one of the things that society and marketers and salespeople are very, very good at is getting our money and selling us things a lot of times that we don't need, and all of the ways that kind of tempt us and bring us out of our money. And there is a ton of money just in the one thing that is marketed and is put more money into each year than any other business or product. It's credit and credit cards. And so they spend trillions of dollars on advertising and marketing because they know it works. So lesson 5 is talking about wise spending and how to not fall into the traps. And it's a great lesson. Lesson 6 is on understanding insurance. And so a lot of people are underinsured, or they have not put the correct insurance products into their life. And the purpose of insurance is to mitigate your risk, meaning reducing the chances of something catastrophic happening to you that completely wipes you out. Because if you make progress in the baby steps, and then you have something major happen to you without proper and adequate insurance, you could be right back into the hole or even negative. So understanding insurance is super, super important. And so this lesson talks about all the insurances that you should have, what you should, how you should ask the questions, how to find the right insurance agent and company. And it really explains this topic of insurance. And it doesn't have to be difficult. It's not a mystery, but you have to get yourself covered. And your goal is to reduce your risk while you're going through the baby steps. Now, when you get to baby step 7, you may have different needs, and you may have different risks for insurance, but you definitely want to know that information. Lesson 7 is on building wealth. Now, this is a really, really cool lesson because it talks about what is available and what is possible. This idea of getting into baby step 4 of, you're saving that 15% of your income every month. Well, how do you invest? How do you build wealth? How do you retire with millions and millions of dollars in your retirement account? How do you retire in such a way that you're able to live the kind of life that you want, to be able to give and to be present with your family and not have to worry about going to work and working until you're dead? Now, I mean working because you want to work, not because you have to. There's a complete difference. When you retire, it's because you want to, not because, hey, I have got to keep working because I have to keep paying me Visa and MasterCard and student loan and all that stuff, and little Johnny's college and all the things. How many people end life financially in a negative because they didn't know how to build wealth? So that's a great lesson, lesson 7. In lesson 8, it talks about buying and selling your home. This is huge. Figuring out how to buy and sell your home and how to, get out of renting and when it's a good idea. Here, home ownership is absolutely doable for every single one of you listening to my voice. We all can own a home, have it paid off, have no mortgage, and to live in a way that is completely free. And being debt-free means also your home. But there are things about buying a home that you have to understand, and this lesson goes into them. Then finally, lesson 9, and this is where it all comes together. And this is the lesson on outrageous generosity. Now, a lot of people want to get to a point where they are able to give and to make an impact. And when somebody is in need, imagine a family member has something catastrophic happen and they need $50,000 for an operation. And imagine if you could just write the check, or your pastor goes, hey, we've got this great thing. We want to buy clothing for these, underprivileged people for Christmas. We want to provide Thanksgiving dinners for 100 families. And imagine if you had the ability to walk up to your pastor, your rabbi, your priest, your leader, and to just simply ask, okay, we want to provide 100 meals, Thanksgiving meals. How much would that cost? And for them to, throw out a number and to say that was, we need to raise $20,000. And imagine if you had the ability to simply pay for the whole thing, or just to make if $1,000 is a big gift and you have a desire to give, some people get to a point where they're able to give more than they've made any year of their life. So let's say they made a $50,000 income. Imagine if the most you've ever made was that, but then you were able to give that kind of amount. That's the idea of outrageous generosity. And this is where, if you have substance and you're able to give, that you can be in a place to do so. And so this lesson goes into that. And it's just an amazing program, Financial Peace University. I highly recommend it. I think that everybody should go through Financial Peace University. But here's where it's different. Here's the, where the rubber hits the road. You could go through Financial Peace University and get all of the head knowledge and not do any of the things, not follow through, not create a budget, not go through the baby steps and go, oh, that's a really good thing. And oh, that's great knowledge. But until you apply it, this is where skillful and godly wisdom comes together. Skillful and godly wisdom is wisdom and skills activated. And so sometimes what we need is we need someone to come alongside of us and to help coach us and to help keep us accountable and to be able to bounce off ideas and to talk with and to be mentored by. And that's where Dave Ramsey's company has created coaching. We have financial coaches with the Ramsey company. And what is a coach? A coach is your personal guide to win with money. And so this is from the coaching area of the financialpeace.com website. A financial coach helps you create goals and actually stick with them, so you're not just dreaming about financial peace, you're living it. Get started now with a complimentary consultation with the Ramsey Preferred Coach. Now I'm going to give you all I'm going to give everybody a free coaching session with me. I am a Ramsey Preferred Coach. I have gone through the coaching program. I am recognized to not only instruct and to teach and to present the Financial Peace University classes, but also to coach you in a way and to teach in a way that Dave Ramsey and his company, that they are the same principles. And so I will absolutely provide you with a complimentary consultation and we can talk about your goals. And hopefully you say to yourself, man, I need accountability. I need somebody to help me as I move through this. Now, there are fees when it comes to coaching beyond that initial consultation, and you'll be presented with all of your your options and what's available. But generally, the price that you pay to have somebody lead you through this process will save you so much time and anguish and heartache trying to figure it all out yourself. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for speed, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You're finding someone who has gone through it and who is there to help you. Now, what is coaching? Coaching is it's accountability, and it's not me telling you what to do. It's me listening to you, listening to what is important, what your goals are, where you are in your particular situation, and helping you get to the next step and to continuously move you forward and to get you to a point where you're knocking through the baby steps. You have accountability. You have motivation, encouragement. You have a track to run on. That's the benefit of coaching. And so it's not necessarily that everyone is going to want to do it, but sometimes when you throw your money down, it will motivate you to keep going. Yes, you could go and work out, at the park, but going to the gym is a whole nother step, But then beyond that, getting a personal trainer while you're at the gym, that's a whole nother expense, but your results can skyrocket because you have that accountability and you have that person to help bring you through it. So how does the coaching work? So you do your free consultation. We see where your goals are. We see how you can be helped, and we then schedule your coaching. It can be whichever interval is going to be best for you. It could be once a month, could be once a week. The options and the customability of what's available can be done in a number of ways, both in person and virtual. Can be done over the phone, over Zoom. And then the benefit is having somebody to bounce your ideas off of. And so what are the benefits of one-on-one financial coaching? How can it help you? It can help you to get out of debt with a personalized plan, learn how to handle money better in your relationships, actually pay off your student loans, set up a monthly budget and stick to it, prepare to buy a home, plan for retirement, and more. So all those things that you learned in Financial Peace University, this is the activation step. This is again, rubber meeting the road. And you should, after 6-12 months of coaching, you should be able to look back and go, wow, I've made it this far. And it should give you hope to continue to move forward. So what is a Ramsey preferred coach? Our Ramsey preferred coaches, RPCs, are professional financial coaches who've been trained extensively by our team. Every one of our RPCs bases their financial advice on the Ramsey principles. And they're on standby, ready to dig into your situation and to help create a plan to reach your goals. This is directly from the Ramsey website. So I'm reading directly from it. Eagles Wing Academy does not. We're going to get into that. We are not employees of Ramsey, but we are able to provide that information. Basically, we're kind of like a franchise. We have an agreement, and I'll read that agreement later. But I'm reading directly from the website. You will have access to this as well. What are the most common questions? What is a financial coach? A financial coach helps you create goals and actually stick to them, so you're not just dreaming about financial peace, you're living it. Financial coaching is different from any other finance-related job. CPAs help you with your taxes. Financial advisors help you with your investments, but financial coaches work with you to create a start-to-finish plan for your money and help keep you on track. Financial coaches often work with the client over several sessions, focusing on anything from fine-tuning your budget to discovering your long-term goals to working through a real financial crisis. No matter the situation, financial coaches sit with you one-on-one. We call it kneecap to kneecap, to help you overcome the challenges that hold you back in your finances. When should I work with a financial coach? That's the great thing about a financial coach. They can help you in any situation. Maybe you're up to your eyeballs in student loan and credit card debt, or you're having money fights with your spouse, or maybe you have big money goals like saving to buy a house or setting yourself up for retirement, but no plan to achieve them. Regardless, a coach can meet you where you're at and steer you in the right direction to win with your money. How much does a financial coach cost? Our Ramsey preferred coaches, RPCs, are actually independent coaches who charge their own rates after your free consultation. If you choose to work with an RPC, they may charge a flat rate that includes several sessions, or they may charge an hourly rate for each session. Generally, though, financial coaches will work with you to make recommendations based on your needs. How do I pay for coaching when I'm broke? Coaching is meant to put money in your pocket, not take it out. It's the best way to help you develop the right money habits and put an end to your money problems. Some people will ask if they can afford it, but maybe you should ask yourself, can I afford not to get help from a coach? If you're trying to get out of debt, other options like credit counseling and bankruptcy only manage the symptoms. They don't change the habits that got you in there. And the cost of bankruptcy is more than a financial burden. It's a stain on your personal record. There's no better way to establish good money habits than by having a personal money mentor who understands your situation. And side note, you should never be ashamed of your financial struggles when working with a coach. They're here to encourage you. These men and women are trained professionals who work with people from all walks of life and all ranges of income. Whatever you're going through, it's okay. Will you set up a payment plan for my coaching fee? No, mainly because we don't want your coach to become your creditor. They're working to get you out of debt, not deeper in it. Instead, we ask that you always pay your coach up front, no credit cards. And remember, nearly all of our coaches offer their first session completely free. What is the difference between Financial Peace University and financial coaching? Financial Peace University is a 9-week class that teaches the nuts and bolts of Dave's principles. Through financial coaching, and though financial coaching and FPU are different, they actually go hand in hand. In fact, many of our coaches will encourage you to take FPU before or during your sessions with them. Think of it this way. FPU lays the foundation that your coach uses to build a plan for your money. Does my coach work for Dave? No. Our financial preferred coaches, RPCs, are independent business owners. So their paychecks don't come from Dave, but they are professional. They are professional financial coaches who've been trained extensively by our team and follow Ramsey principles. How do I get my spouse on board? Marriage is not me, it's we. Working on your finances together is the only way to succeed when it comes to money. Not only that, many couples find that talking about money actually reduces stress in their marriage. It's so important. We've made it one of our core teachings. If you're having difficulty getting your spouse on board, let your coach know. How do I prepare for my coaching session? The great part about working with a financial coach is that they'll guide you through every step of the process. But during your first consultation, your coach will ask questions to get to know you, your goals, your dreams, your past, your pain points, etc. So be sure to have your answers ready. Now, it's very, very important. I'm stepping back as Deuce, the financial coach for the Eagles Wing Academy. Here is a statement that I want to make. I want to make sure it's perfectly clear. Ramsey preferred coaches are independent financial coaches offering personal finance coaching and education to help empower you to take charge of your money. Ramsey preferred coaches are not employees or agents of Ramsey Solutions, and their services are not warranted or guaranteed by Ramsey in any way. Ramsey preferred coaches complete training through Ramsey Solutions and pay a fee to be part of the coaching program. Ramsey Solutions does not offer tax, legal, accounting, or other professional advice of any kind. I just want to make that clear that yes, I have gone through Ramsey's training. I have completed the Coach Mastery training, and I have also enrolled in the Preferred Coaching Program, the Ramsey Preferred Coaches Program. And I believe in Ramsey's biblical teachings and how it goes about getting you through the baby steps. I believe is the best way to accomplish your financial goals and to increase your overall financial life score. And so just so that's perfectly clear, although I am independent of the Ramsey company, I do teach the way that Ramsey teaches, and I am accountable to them as part of the coaching program and my ongoing training with them. So that's super, super important. What I will encourage you to do is to speak with me if this is something that is interesting to you. And as one of my clients, I make sure that you go through Financial Peace University and that you have a 1-year membership for all of my coaching clients. So as part of your initial package, you will receive Financial Peace University membership so that you can take the course, so that you can gain the information. You can take the course with me as an instructor, or any course that is convenient for you, either in person or virtually. And that will be included with your coaching sessions, that we can talk about a plan and a schedule and a price that will work for you. And it's so very important that you have accountability and you have somebody that can help you through this process, that can help you when temptation strikes and the opportunity to make a poor decision presents itself. Again, coaching is not me telling you what to do and controlling your life or writing your budget for you. It is coming alongside of you, asking you questions, asking you what it is that you want to do, and then helping you achieve that. And so I hope that this gives you hope. And as always, this is Eagle's Wing Podcast, your host, Deuce Brandt, praying for your skillful and godly wisdom.